So, good morning everyone. My name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be talking about the Indian Express newspaper. And before that, Happy New Year to all of you from the Drishti team. I hope this year will be a successful year for you. And here today we will be discussing about various news articles which has been in the news, and we will be trying to understand that how these news articles are important for UPSC. You must be seeing that the first article today we are discussing, that will be how you can say world is waking up to India's coffee. Okay, since it is new year, so it is kind of you can say a positive vibe this article brings to us. So we'll be talking about this article and then we'll be starting our session. Okay, so again, Happy New Year and have a nice year ahead. All the best. Now let's start with the outline. Today we'll be discussing, or the outline will be little different, because first we'll be discussing the articles and then we'll be going to the different sections. Like for your own read there will be an article, then fact of the day we'll be discussing in the end, then geography through maps which we'll be discussing in the end, then there will be an explanation of the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then we'll be going for a practice question for you. Okay, so this will be the outline today. Here you can see the first article is world waking up to the India's coffee. Now you know that India is a producer of Robusta and Arabica. These are the two kind of coffees which India produces. Okay, now considering that recently there was this price hike of the Robusta coffee. Okay, and because of which you will be seeing that the India's export has also increased and they have hit a benchmark. So we'll be talking about India's export. We will also talk about coffee. We will also see the cultivation conditions. Okay, all these things we will be talking about. We will also see some factual data which can be important for you. Okay, coming to the next one, ISRO's last mission in 2024. You must have seen that ISRO has launched its mission that is related to the docking maneuver. Okay, so we will be seeing that what is docking maneuver. We will be seeing that what mission this is. Okay, that is your SPEDX. Okay, so we will be talking about that. Then Myanmar ranked 1 in. Here, when we are talking about this particular space, we will be seeing that what are the areas where Myanmar is considered as top. Okay, and again, these are not very good things to discuss over here, because this is related to the drugs, this is related to the organized crime. Okay, so we will be seeing that why this is happening in Myanmar. Okay, for your own read there will be 2 or 3 articles. Okay, and in the end there are fact of the day which we will be discussing, geography through map, and the explanation of the practice question. In the geography through map section we will be talking about the Gangetic plains. We will be going into details like Sindh plains, Rajasthan plains, Punjab plains. So we will be talking about that. Okay, so now let's start. Before going ahead, you know that Noida is becoming the new UPSC hub. ISGS Foundation course, the STIS has brought you over here, and we are providing English medium course over here, or the foundation course over here, starting from 9th of January 6 p.m. and for Hindi medium that is 16th of January 11:30 a.m. For more details you can call on this number, that is 87501 87501. Okay, now let's move further and start with the first article of the day, that is world starts waking up to India's coffee, or the Indian coffee exports cross 1 billion first time. Okay, so 1 billion US dollars, that is the export, you can say hit this particular benchmark. Now you can remember this particular part over here because that can be important. How here you can see from 2020-21, if you see the export is increasing throughout the years. Okay, so one thing is clear, that if they are asking about trends, you will be saying that from the last 4 to 5 years we are seeing that the exports of Indian coffee is increasing. Okay, now they are saying that world starts with the waking up with the Indian coffee. Obviously we are exporting it too much. Second thing is Now, why we are discussing it? Why is that we have actually attained this particular benchmark? All these things we will be discussing. We will also see what are the challenges which are faced by our coffee. Okay, so let's start with the discussion. First, here some of the data is given, that is crossed 1 billion for the first time in financial year 2024 April to November. Okay, you don't have to remember this, just know that for the first time we have crossed 1 billion US dollar benchmark for the Indian coffee, grew by 29% compared to the same period in the last year, that is financial year 2023, marked a significant jump from 460 million US dollar to 803 million US dollar. Okay, so that was in the last year, and now when we are talking about this year, that is somewhere around 1100 or something. Okay, 1146 million. Now, coming to the global coffee dynamics, now we are talking about the dynamics over here. Now, why is that this surge has been seen? Now, recently what has happened, that there are 2 or 3 countries which are kind of prominent exporter and the producer of the coffee, that is basically your Brazil and Vietnam. We will be talking about these particular aspects, that who is the largest producer and the exporter of the coffee. So when we are talking about the Brazil and Vietnam, these are the producer and the exporters. When recently what has happened is that because of certain climatic conditions, because of not too hot climatic conditions over here, so supply has been decreased by Brazil. Supply has been reduced by Brazil. Similar conditions has been there. Supply has been reduced in Vietnam too. And because of which what has happened, that there was this void which has to be filled, and India has filled that particular void by exporting that much. Okay. Now when we are talking about exports, so European Union and the other European countries are quite you can say fond of India's coffee. Okay. So that is there. Let's see. Brazil's coffee production fell due to drought and the high temperature. Vietnam also reported lower production forecast, impacting the global supply. Now, when we are talking about the European Union is the largest coffee export destination for India, Italy, Belgium, Germany, these are leading. Now, the EU's deforestation regulation, EUDR, might disrupt the export. Now, when we are talking about EU, you know that they are going for some kind of market mechanism or some kind of tariff, which are basically on those who are going for the deforestation, or you can say climate related tariffs are also there. Okay, you must have heard about the carbon you can say carbon tax was there. Okay, so all these emission tax, all these you can say deforestation regulation, etc., these are kind of non-tariff barriers which are there to the exports. And since India is the largest exporter to, or you can say European Union, and if they are putting some kind of regulations over there, so there are high chances that our export might get a hit. Okay, one of the reason for this increased benchmark is EU as well. European Union, since there is this regulation which will be coming into play in 2025, there are various traders who has actually stocked the coffee, and that is why we have seen that there is high exports this year. Okay, so this is the news, and now we will coming to the coffee part. Now, for our UPSC's examinations point of view, you will be seeing that they are asking about the climatic conditions where which are required for the coffee cultivation, etc. So that is some of the things which we will be discussing over here. Now, second most important beverage of India after tea. Tea is the most drinking beverage or most taken beverage in India. After that, we have coffee. Now, it is indigenous to Abyssinia Plateau, which is there in Ethiopia. So from there, it has it has been brought to India by Baba Budan. Okay, so when we are talking about Arabia from the 17th century, okay, so in 17th century from Arabia, this coffee was introduced to India by Baba Budan, and in India it is cultivated in Baba Budan Hills in Karnataka. Okay, so name has been given on this particular name only. Okay, Baba Budan. So in 17th century it was bought from Arabia. Now, coffee cultivation requires plenty of cheap and skilled labor for various operations including sowing, transplantation, pruning, plucking, drying, grading and packaging of the coffee. For all these things, you can see you will be requiring a manpower. Okay, so that is there. Now, coming to the next part over here, when we talk about the old plantations which are there. So, during Britishers, we have Chikmagalur, that is there in Karnataka. We have some plantations in Wayanad, okay, and Shivaji Hills in Wayanad, you must have heard about that, and then in the Nilgiri Hills. Now, when we talk about the most production, where India is having the most production of coffee, so that is there in here you can see that is there in Karnataka. Maximum production is there in Karnataka. Then Tamil Nadu, okay, and Kerala. Now Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, sorry, Karnataka, Kerala, and then Tamil Nadu. Maximum is in Karnataka, then Kerala, and then in Tamil Nadu. Okay, after that you will be seeing that there are other areas like Andhra Pradesh, then Odisha, and some of the areas in northeastern region, they are also producing coffee. Okay, so there is this Araku Valley which is there, and when we are talking about this area, herein you will be seeing Baba Budangiri Hills, Chikmagalur, okay, Manjarabad, Kurg, Wayanad. Kurg is famous for coffee. Then coming to the Kerala, there are various like Nilgiris, Annamalai, okay, Pulne, then Shivroy Hills. All these are the area where we go for the coffee cultivation. Okay. Then coming to the northeastern region, there are also areas like in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, we are going for the coffee cultivation. Now we have already talked about this particular graph over here. Now major coffee cultivated areas are Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and parts of the northeastern region and the Andhra Pradesh. India produces two primary varieties. One is Arabica, that is 49%, and the Robusta, that is 51% area. Okay, so these two varieties you can remember. Other than that, if we talk about the climatic conditions which are required for the coffee cultivation, so here you can say it is the hot and humid climate crop. Okay, so you will be requiring hot and humid crops. So here these are the area you will be seeing that these are the areas of the Western Ghats. Sorry. These are the areas of the Western Ghats wherein you will be seeing that we have hot and humid climate. Okay. Then coming to the next one, temperature range is 15 degree to 28 degrees Celsius. This coffee cannot tolerate too hot or too cold areas. Okay. Then coming to the rainfall, that is 150 to 250 centimeters. Well drained, rich, friable loam containing a good deal of humus and minerals like iron, calcium are ideal for the coffee cultivation. So this is what the soil requirements are. Then dry weather is necessary at the time of the ripening of the berries. Okay, coming to the next part over here, crop is not tolerant to frost and snowfall. As I told you, too much of coldness is not good for the coffee cultivation. High temperature above 30 degrees Celsius is also not tolerable by the coffee plants. Then prolonged drought and the stagnant water, these are some of the things which will not be resulting into good cultivation. Okay, so high temperature, too high temperature or too low temperature is not you can say good for the coffee plant. Stagnant water is not good for the coffee plant, and coffee will not be cultivated in the areas where there is a prolonged drought. Okay, so these are some of the things which we have discussed about coffee. We have already talked about the maps over here. India, we have seen that where we find coffee, that is Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and the northeastern region. And here you will be seeing top 10 coffee producing countries. So here maximum is produced in Brazil, second is your Vietnam, third is Indonesia. When we talk about India's rank is 7th as of now. Okay, and when we are talking about this particular rankings, these keeps changing, but most of the time you will be seeing that Brazil is at the top. Okay, so that is about coffee. We have talked every aspect which can be asked in your UPSC examinations. Okay, so that is about coffee cultivation. Now let's move further to the next article, which is related to space docking mission takes off, key to India's future missions. Okay, the name of the mission is SpaceX. This is last mission of ISRO in 2024. Before that also you must have seen that this year has been very good for the you can say space sector. For the ISRO, it has been very good. Okay, we have launched Chandrayaan 3, we have launched Aditya L1, we have gone for the various testings which are there. Other than that also we have gone for the training of the astronauts which are supposed to go for the Gaganyaan. Okay, so all these things are there. Now let's come to the article over here. Satellite injected into orbit, docking likely on the 7th January, ISRO chairman says. Okay, so here Indian Space Research Organization ended 2024 with the SpaceX mission docking capability in space. Now first let's see what is docking capability. Now if we talk about two satellites, let's say when we are talking about the International Space Center we have. Okay, when we are talking about this particular center which is there, so let's say there is this particular kind of socket which is there to attach to the International Space Station. Okay, ISS, we have International Space Station. So let's say this is your ISS, Now we have to go there and we have to supply some kind of some kind of supply is to be given over here, so that this particular station can function. Now to enter into this, there is this docking, you can say, platform which has been made. Now to attach with this, we need to know that how this docking maneuver is performed. Okay, now let's say you have launched a satellite from, you can say, our you can say Earth. Now this is the satellite. Okay, now this is having some kind of supply which is there, which is to be inserted into ISS. Now docking means that two different entities, 1 and 2, they will be coming together, get attached with each other, they will be transferring some of the things and then get detached. Okay, docking and undocking. So then it will be going over there, and this is stationary, this is hovering stationary, relative motion is not there, so it will come and it will try to get attached over here. Now how that will happen? Now this particular socket is there, we have to make sure that we fix into it. Okay, so this particular satellite will come, hover around it and then fixed over here. Now this particular maneuver is called as the docking. Okay, now let's see what is the, you can say, docking maneuver which will be performed in this particular you can say testing of this particular satellite. Okay, so we have sent 2 satellites in that. Okay, in that we are setting sending 2 satellites. One will be there which will be stationary, which will go into the space, then one will be there stationary. How that will be done? That will be done through the fuel jet, that will be, or the propulsion jet will be started, and because of that particular jet, relative motion will not be there, so it will be stationary. The second satellite, first it will go up to a particular distance and then it will come back to the satellite and get attached to over here. Now this is your satellite 1. This is satellite 2. They will perform this activity, get you can say undocked. So that is docking and undocking maneuver will be done in the space. Okay. Now here you can see PSLV C60. Now when we talk about the PSLV is considered as the workhorse of the ISRO. Now most of the satellites has been sent through this, so that is why it is called as the workhorse. Okay, now coming to the next part, from where it has been launched, that is Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. Okay, now they have successfully placed 2 satellites in the desired orbit. Now coming to the you can say, what is the significance of this particular docking and undocking? Here you can say it is key to future missions for the ISRO. Now when we are talking about the sending a Gaganyaan, or when we are talking about that we will be bringing samples back from moon, other than that also we are thinking about placing our own space station in you can say space. So considering all these things, this docking and undocking maneuvers becomes important for us. Okay, so that is something because of which this particular maneuver becomes important for us. Okay, now the success of this mission will make India 4th country in the world to have this capability of docking, that is after Russia, US and China, we will be the 4th country if we are successful in that. Okay, so that is something which we have to keep a tab on. Okay, now 2 small satellite has been injected over here. One is SDX01 and SDX02. Okay, now let's see over here. Spex mission objective is to develop and demonstrate the technology needed for the rendezvous, docking and undocking of 2 small spacecraft, that is SDX1, the chaser, and SDX2, the target. Now the target, let's see, this is the target. This will be relatively stable. This will the jet propulsion system will be on and this will be stable. Then the SDX1, that will be the chaser, that will first go away, then it will be chasing to come over here and go for the docking. So that is there. Now in addition, Spex because of its small size and mass, even more challenging due to the fine precision. Now since size is small, so you have to be very precise. Okay, so it is kind of challenging when we are talking about the big satellites with respect to the big satellite. Okay, the target spacecraft propulsion system will prevent the satellite from drifting apart. So here you can see the target spacecraft, that is your SDX01, this is the target spacecraft. So there will be a propulsion system which will be on, and because of which you will be seeing that it will prevent the satellite from drifting apart and maintain a distance of 20 km between the two, the process known as the far rendezvous. Okay, so this is particular thing which can be asked, what is far rendezvous? That is basically the propulsion system of one satellite will be on, so that will be relatively stable. Okay, so that is what is called as the far rendezvous. Now coming to the next part, the mission will serve as a precursor to autonomous docking needed for the future lunar missions such as Chandrayaan 4, which we have seen. Now here you can see space docking. What is space docking? Space docking is a intricate process of maneuvering two fast moving spacecraft into same orbit, bringing them closer and joining them together into a single unit. This capability is pivotal for assembling the large structures or transferring equipment, crew or supplies in the space, which we have already seen. For instance, the International Space Station was built using this technique, with various modules launched separately and docked in space. Continuous docking missions keep ISRO operational by delivering supplies. Sorry, not ISRO, that is ISS, that is the International Space Station, by sending supplies, new crew members and modules, while facilitating the returns of the older crew to Earth. Okay, so this is the you can say process. With the help of the docking and undocking, we are sending supplies as well as the crew, and we are bringing you can say the crew back as well. Sir, these newspaper of yesterday, yes, we could not come live yesterday, so we are taking one or two important articles from yesterday's as well. Okay, so that all the things which are there get covered for you. Okay, so yes, one article, this article is particularly from yesterday, and before that what we have discussed over here, that the coffee article, that is from sorry, this article on the coffee, this is from the today's paper. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now let's move further to the next one. Here we have talked about the docking. Okay, now coming to the next one, that is Myanmar rank first in the global opium exports. As I told you, with respect to the organized crime, with respect to the drugs, etc., Myanmar is actually ranked number 1. Okay, now this is not a good thing, but this is happening over there. Now why is this happening over there? Because you can say the 1 year ago there was this civil war which started. Okay, there was this already a democratic government which was there under Aung San Suu Kyi. You know that when we are talking about this particular you can say personality, so there was this democratic government which was there earlier, but when we are talking about Aung San Suu Kyi, okay, so under her we had a democratic government over there, and that was actually removed by a military coup in 2021. Okay, so in February 2021 there was this military coup and she was arrested, and the democratic government has been collapsed over there, and then there was this military junta government which was established. Now since there is a political chaos which is going on, or you can say there was this crisis which is going on, and because of which the organized crime or the you can say anti-social elements has taken control of certain things, and one of them is drugs. Okay, now here you can see there is a patchwork of white and pink and purple flowers which has been seen over here. When the country is on a you can say civil war, you will be seeing that there are certain fields which are having flowers over there, and these flowers are basically your poppy flowers or the opium flowers. Okay, so that is there, it's all opium poppy in these fields. World's biggest exporter of the raw material to make heroin and the other opiates. So basically for the drugs, this is one of the raw material which Myanmar is actually you can say cultivating and sending to another countries like even China, etc. Okay, now here you can say what is the reason? Civil conflict nearly 4 years ago. After the military overthrew the elected government, Myanmar has cemented its status as the hotbed of the transnational crime. Okay, so here 2-3 things are important. One, we have seen that drugs. Now if someone is asking about Myanmar, one issue is drugs or narcotics. Second is transnational crime. Okay, or you can say organized crime as well. Okay, nature of the crime is transnational because along with the country they are actually going for the crimes outside country as well. There are these Chinese groups which are also involved over here. So that is there. It is the playground for the warlords, arms dealers, human traffickers, poachers, drug syndicates, and the general wanted by the international court. Okay, so these are some of the factors which are actually impacting Myanmar right now. Biggest nexus of the organized crime on the planet. That is what has been said by the Global Organized Crime Index. Okay, so that particular fact you can remember. This is the biggest cartel for the organized crime which is there in Myanmar. Now military coup in February 2021 that unseated the civilian authority of the Aung San Suu Kyi. So we have already talked about her. World's largest producer of the opium, Myanmar right now. World's largest manufacturer of the synthetic drugs. Okay, So there are two things when we are talking about synthetic drugs. These are basically your drugs or the narcotics which is there. Okay, so because of which Myanmar is quite famous right now. Myanmar is not just a narcotic state, it is also thought to be the world's largest exporter of certain heavy rare earth materials. Okay, when we are talking about the heavy rare earth elements which are found in Myanmar, now what is happening is that there are some antisocial, you can say, or the illegal miners which are there, which are using these people, this particular opium or the other drugs. They are giving these drugs to the youngsters over there, and these youngsters are basically working in these fields, or illegally they are working in these fields. They are mining these rare earth materials and they are exporting it. Okay, so that is another kind of syndicate which is developing in Myanmar. Here you can see rare earth materials which are used in the power clean energy worldwide. Workers dig in illegal mines, then dispatch the rare earth materials to China along with the old smuggling routes which are there. Okay, it is home to best jade and the ruby on the planet, extracted by the young men addicted by the same drugs. Okay, so which we have already seen that how they are performing, what is the modus operandi. What they do is that they are drugging the youngsters over there, they are using them as workers in the illegal mines, and they are sending these rare earth metals to China. Okay, you know that China is one among the you can say countries which are part of the global supply chain when we are talking about the rare earth metals. Okay, so that is there. Coming to the next part, expanding the reach of Chinese crime syndicate. As I told you, this is they are having this transnational nature of crime. Okay, that means that along with Myanmar, these crimes are spreading outside as well. So here you will be seeing that Chinese syndicates are also part of it. Now in Myanmar's borderlands, criminal network that unites Chinese kingpins with ethnic warlords are kidnapping people from all over the globe. People who are visiting Myanmar or the border areas, they are kidnapping them, and then they are forcing them to be part of the online crime syndicates. When we are talking about the online crime or the cyber crime, you will be seeing that they are being made part of it, and then ultimately what will happen is that they will be calling their, you can say, relatives, etc., and extracting money out of that. So that is online fraud which is going on. So this is what is going on the soil of Myanmar after the collapse of the elected government, since there is a military junta government and which is supported by these warlords for the money and all. So because of which all these issues are prominent in Myanmar right now. Okay, that is drug, narcotics, transnational crimes, organized crimes, other than that illegal mining, okay, which is there of the rare earth metals. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now we can move further to the next article. Now okay, now coming to the challenges of a complex world. Now I will not go into details of this particular article. That reason being, I have already come up with a video, that is 10 geopolitical events that will decide the fate of world in 2025. I have come up with this video on our Drishti IAS English YouTube channel, so you can go through that particular video. In that we have discussed some of the important geopolitical events which will decide the fate of 2025. Now here also they are saying that the complex world they are talking about, and herein they have discussed the same things. Okay, now I will be giving you a passing reference of all of these so that you can have an idea. If you are not comfortable with something, you can watch this video, otherwise that is fine, we will be discussing over here. Now they are talking in with respect to India. Now here you can see ongoing war. There are two ongoing wars, that is Russia, Ukraine, and then second one is the Middle East, that is with respect to Israel. Okay, regime changes in the India's neighborhood. When we are talking about the neighborhood or otherwise also, you will be seeing that there is this anti-incumbency wave which is there. Governments are changing. Okay, India has been the exception, wherein the same government has actually came back into power. So when we are talking about Pakistan, when we talk about Sri Lanka, when we talk about USA, UK, France, Germany, the governments are being changing over there. Okay, coming to the next one, you can say regime changes in India's neighborhood and the West Asia. In Syria also we have seen that there was this regime change, and then in Bangladesh also there was this regime change which was there. A phenomenal return of the United States presidency by Donald Trump in 2024. Now this Trump factor is bringing a lot of uncertainty for the world. So that is also being given over here. From New Delhi, 2025 looks promising and challenging. India will host Quad Summit, so that is good thing for us. And second thing is possible India EU summit, which will also be there. Prime Minister might visit, you can say, China. That is one thing. Second thing is Prime Minister might visit with the Vladimir Putin. There are chances that Donald Trump might visit India. So, or you can say Prime Minister might go to over there, and there will be a visit of you can say prominent leaders as well in 2025. So that is something promising as well as challenging. When we are talking about the promising part, that is basically when you look at USA has been an ally. Okay, when we are talking about the Donald Trump's previous regime also, USA has been an ally because Donald Trump sees China as a big risk or the big danger. Okay, and considering that, India becomes very much important for them. Now that is one thing. Second thing is when we are talking about the you can say other things like Russia and Ukraine, all these factors are having something to do with the geopolitics. Okay, now hard realities if we talk about, that is Donald Trump 2.0, that is X factor, or you can say uncertainty is there, because recently you must have seen that there was this statement by Elon Musk on H1B visa. After that, Donald Trump has given a statement, then again Elon Musk has retreated from his statement. So these kind of things are happening. Other than that, we know that when we are talking about the geopolitics, Mr. Donald Trump has this America first policy, or the inward looking policy, which is there. Okay, because of which also we are kind of having some kind of trouble, because if that is the kind of policy he will be following, that means that he will go for the protectionism, and then he will be going for the tariffs, and that is something which is not in favor of India when we are talking about the trade aspect. Now when we come to the geopolitical aspect in the Indo-Pacific region, that is good for India, because you know Donald Trump sees China as a problem, and that is why they will be helping India in that. So that is the Trump factor which will be there. Coming to the next one, India's neighborhood, we have seen Bangladesh has seen some kind of overthrow of the government. PM Sheikh Hasina has to come to India, and the country is right now under the chief advisor over here, that is Mohammed Yunus, and they have said that India should send back Sheikh Hasina for the trial. Okay, we have this extradition treaty as well. So we have discussed all these things in the past. So that is one factor which will decide the fate of India and Bangladesh relations. Then moving further to the next one, that is Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka also we have seen a regime change, and Sri Lanka is going through a political as well as the economic turmoil. So India will be helping Sri Lanka. That is one of the things. Then coming to the Maldives, when we are talking about Maldives, also you have seen that last year there was this election, and Mohammed Moizo has been elected as a president over there on the flank of India Out campaign. Now after that, we had some strain in the ties. Recently you will be seeing that we have secured a visit over there, so there are chances that that is a positive sign with respect to Myanmar. Coming to the Nepal, we have a government of KP Sharma Oli over there, and that is having some kind of pro-China inclination, and that is why some kind of negative impact has been seen on the India-Nepal relations as well. You must have seen the issue of this Kalapani, Lipu Lake, and the Limpiadhura. Okay, all these things are there. Now coming to the several uncertainties, that the war in Ukraine. The Ukraine war has not been decided. It has been, you can say, nearly 1,000 days now. Okay, but there is no outcome yet. There is no conclusion of this particular war. Recently, Russia has said that they are open for the talks. US's President-elect Donald Trump has also said that he will be going for the peace efforts, etc. Then with China, reason for hope. When we are talking about China, so you know that recently there was this border talks which has happened, and then patrolling was started on the legacy point areas. Then still you can say that the issue has not been resolved fully. Other than that, our trade relations are still increasing. When we are talking about our dependence on China, that is also increasing. Okay, so that is also one of the things. Coming to the next one over here, no engagement with Pakistan. We are having the same policy with respect to Pakistan, that there is the trust deficit which is there, and because of which we are not engaging with Pakistan over here. Then coming to the next one, new leaders in Europe. Recently I told you that there was elections in UK, France, Germany. Okay, and we have seen that there was this overthrow of the government, or you can say there was the regime change which was there. Okay, through elections only, but regime change was there. Okay, the political parties which were there in power, they have been removed, and the new leaders are there now, because of which also you will be saying that there can be a change in the policies. When we are talking about the India-UK relations, when we talk about the relations with France, so you will be seeing that some kind of trade related policy changes might be there. Other than that, also when we talk about the European Union or the UK, you will be seeing that this carbon border mechanism which is there, tax mechanism which is there, that can also be a problem. Okay, so that is there with respect to the trade. Africa, push for the engagement. Now Africa has been an arena where India did not explore much in the past. Now we are doing that. Okay, in the G20 summit as well, we have actually included the African Union, and then in the coming years also we will be engaging with Africa. That is there. And India US and India Canada relations, you must have seen about these Khalistani separatist killings, or the attempt for the killings which is there in USA, and the killing that was happened in Canada, because of which there was some kind of up and down in the relations between India, USA, India, Canada. But that is something we cannot talk right now. But the thing is, when we talk about India and Canada, these relations has been impacted severely because of that. Okay, now this is about the overview of you can say geopolitical situations right now, which has been there in 2024, and this will impact the fate of the 2025 as well. As I told you, we have made a video of 10 geopolitical events. You can go and watch that particular video. Okay, now coming to the next one over here, there was this statue of Shivaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, which has been unveiled in you can say Pangong So Lake area. You know that Pangong So Lake, which is there, some part of that there is which is there in India, and most of it is there in you can say China. So Pangong So Lake is an ecologically sensitive area, and it is also geopolitically important as well. So there was this statue which has been unveiled over here of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, so there was this Maratha light infantry which is posted over there, and they have actually unveiled this particular statue. Now, when we are talking about this statue, locals are not very happy with that, because they are saying that this particular infantry or this particular battalion is kind of imposing the culture over there. Okay, because obviously the locals are saying that they respect the feelings, they respect that Shivaji has Maharaj Chhatrapati Shivaji has done a lot. But the thing is, they do not identify with this, and there are certain other aspects are also there with respect to the eco-sensitive zones, etc. So that is why there has been a debate which has been sparked in the locals over there. So we don't have to go into the details of that, but just know that there was this Maratha light infantry which has unveiled a statue of Shivaji Maharaj, and because of which there was some kind of debates which is happening, and that has happened on the Pangong So Lake area. So Pangong So can become important for your UPSC's point of view. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now we can move further to the next one. Trinidad and Tobago declares emergency over the rising crime. So they have actually gone for the declaration of the emergency, and this emergency is for the organized crime which is increasing over here. There are various killings which has happened in the past, and because of which they have gone for the you can say state of emergency in this country. They have said that they are not restricting people's movements, they are not restricting people's rights over there. Just the emergency situation has been imposed just to counter the crime over there. Okay, so that is there, which will give police kind of power for arrest, and you can say hitting these antisocial elements. Now if we talk about the location of Trinidad and Tobago, that becomes important for your examination. So this is your Caribbean Sea, this is your South American continent, and here you will be seeing that there is two islands. One is this and second is this. Now this upper small island, that is your Trinidad, and this particular island here is the Tobago. Here in this particular picture you will be able to see it clearly. Now this particular island, small island, that is Tobago, and here you can see this is your Trinidad. Okay, I hope that is clear. This is there in the Caribbean Sea, so please keep that in mind. Okay, now one side we have Gulf of Paria. This side you will be seeing that Gulf of Paria is there, and this side we have Atlantic Ocean. Upper, or you can say in the north, we have Caribbean Sea. Okay, so I hope that is clear. In the south there is this Columbus Channel. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now let's move further to the next one, that is defense exports up from 2000 crore to 21,000 crore in a decade. In 10 years we have increased the defense exports. Why? Because we are giving impetus to the defense exports. We are going for the private players in the defense sector as well. Other than that, Atmanirbhar Bharat is also one of the initiative under which we are promoting defense sector and the defense manufacturing. So because of all these things, we have seen that there is an increase in the exports. Now here, one thing which is important is that trend. The trend is that in the last 10 years we have increased our exports from 2000 to 21,000, that is 10 times you can say. So that is something which is given over here. Now there is important thing which has been discussed here. Unconventional methods like information warfare, AI based warfare, proxy warfare, electromagnetic warfare, space warfare, cyber attacks are something which are posing a big challenge. Okay, and our minister has said that we have to make sure that we work on these arenas as well. Need for the military to to be well trained and equipped to fight off such attacks. Okay, so that is what has been discussed in the article. I just wanted to give you a passing reference from this article because there was this trend which can be asked in one statement in your examination, so that we have covered now. Now coming to the last part, that is basically you can say passing reference to the South Korea court approves arrest of the President Yoon over the martial law probe. As I told you that in South Korea there was this brief martial law which has been you can say imposed by the then president, that is President Yoon. Okay, what happens is that he has actually accused the opposition that they are supporting the North Korea, or they are somehow colluding with North Korea, and that is why he has imposed the president rule. Parliament, which is you can say where they have the prominence of the opposition party, they have revoked the martial law, and then they have gone for the impeachment of the then president. Okay, then he was impeached. Then there was this acting president that was also impeached. Okay, so that is the condition right now in South Korea, and the then president, that is President Yoon, who has imposed the martial law, he has been scrutinized by the court, and there was this arrest warrant which has been approved. Okay, so that is about the situation in South Korea, which we have already discussed earlier. We have discussed the map as well, so if you have not done that, so you can go through the maps as well. Okay, the one thing which is important is that 38-degree channel or 38-degree parallel. Okay, so you can go and check what is 38-degree parallel. I hope that is clear. Coming to the next one, for your own read, there is this Parker probe gets closest ever to the sun. In the last session, we have discussed about the Parker probe. We have discussed that in the fact of the day. So I will not go into details of this. You can go through this article. Same things has been written over here. Here you can see what is the Parker probe, which we have already seen. Then how did it manage to get so close to the sun? This might not be very important for you, but what is the significance of this milestone, that can be important. Okay, so you can go through this article. Moving further, there is another article, bird hit and belly landing, what we know about the Jeju air crash that killed 179. That was the crash which has happened in South Korea. If you are interested, you can go through this article as well. Now, we have discussed today's news articles. Now we have the fact of the day. Here we are talking about the Siliguri Corridor. Since we have talked about geopolitics a lot, one thing which is important for us is that Siliguri Corridor. First, we will be seeing that in the map. Okay, so now this is the northeastern region of India, and then this is the you can say the western part of the India with respect to the northeastern region. Now here you can see there is this particular area, this area, that is a small corridor which is connecting us to northeastern region when we are talking about the land boundary. Okay, so here you will be seeing that. Otherwise, here we have Nepal, here we have Bangladesh, and here you will be seeing that there is China. Now China is somewhere over here, that is the Doklam area. So if in the vicinity we have China over here, if China get close to this particular region, or if China get access to this particular region, so that will be not good for India, because obviously that will deny us passage to the northeastern region. Now China is making thinking about some kind of project in this area of Bangladesh as well, and other than that Doklam is also there. So these are the two threats which are emerging from China recently towards the Siliguri Corridor. Okay, now again look at this particular picture. This small corridor is the Siliguri Corridor, which is there in West Bengal. Okay, now this particular area which is important, that is Doklam. Other than that, now come back to the text over here. The Siliguri Corridor is a narrow stretch of land approximately 60 km long and 17 to 22 km wide, and is referred as the chicken's neck or Siliguri Corridor. It is a narrow shape. Now location, it is located between Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. Here you can see in this particular map, here we have Nepal, we have Bhutan, and there is Bangladesh. Okay, is the only land link between the India and the northeastern regions, and it is located in West Bengal. Importance I have already told you. Okay, so this is about Siliguri Corridor. Now coming to the next part, that is the geography through map, which we have already seen these maps over here. That is Rajasthan plains, Satluj Yamuna plains, Upper Ganga plains, Middle Ganga plains, Lower Ganga plains, and the Brahmaputra plains. Okay, now right now we'll be focusing on this particular part over here, that Great Plains or the Gangetic plains that has been divided into various parts. One is your Sindh plains, that is there in Pakistan. Okay, this is your Bangar region. Okay, now there are two regions, one is your Khadar region and then the Bangar region. Okay, so you have to know that what is Khadar region and the Bangar region. Now Khadar is the new deposits. You know that when river is there, river will be bringing the deposits. Okay, so let's see, this is the river. Okay, so it is bringing the deposits, so newer deposits will be around over here. Okay, in the vicinity of the river, and the older deposits will be over here. Okay, so that is the Bangar region, which is there, the older regions. the Khadar will be the newer deposits and Bangar are the older deposits. Okay, so that is something which you can remember. Then there are those, the remnant from the former river courses. Okay, these Bangar regions are basically those, because these, let's say, as I told you, this is the river, this is the newer deposits which are there, and then these are the old deposit which is there. Now at some point of time, river might have been this wide, so they are having this old deposits. Now these are called as the dhors. Okay, then Dhand, that these are basically your alkaline lakes. Okay, inland we are having these alkaline lakes, these are called as Dhand. So that is there in the Sindh plains. Now coming to the next one, that is Rajasthan plains. The Thar desert, the Marusthalli, that is there. You know that this is the area which is infertile. Basically you can say that the soil is fertile, but the thing is water you can say is very less in this particular area. Okay, then we have Rajasthan Bagar region, that is semi-arid plains which are there, and Luni river basin which is also there in Rajasthan. Okay, in the Thar region, the areas of Jodhpur, Balotra and the Barmer, these are having this Luni river. Okay, then there are saline lakes, that is Sambar and Deedwana, which is also there in this particular plains. Coming to the Punjab plains are your basically Malwa plains of the Punjab and Haryana tracts. Okay, so that is there. Doab region, it is called as Doab region, that is between the rivers like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj and Byas. This particular because of this particular river, this area is called as the Punjab. Okay, the plain where 5 rivers are there, that is Punjab. So you can see Malwa plains and the Haryana tracts which are there, and it is the Doab region wherein various you can say rivers are meeting. Okay, so that is there Punjab. Then coming to the Ganga plains, you must have heard about these plains. These are the most fertile plains. These are having these various alluvial deposits which are there. The agriculture is very good in these regions. Okay, so that is their Rohilkhand plain, Awadh plain, Mithila plain and Magad plains. Now the qualities are same. Now on the basis of the regions, they have divided these plains, that is Rohilkhand, Awadh, Mithila and Magad. Yesterday we have talked about that. Now coming to the next one, Ganga Brahmaputra Delta. When we are talking about the areas of you can say lower Gangetic plains. Okay, so that is basically your area of delta, that is mangrove forest which are there in Sundarban, that is in West Bengal, estuaries, mud flats and islets which are there. Estuaries are basically you can say that where brackish water and the brackish water of the sea and the you can say the fresh water of the rivers, they are meeting. Okay, then coming to the Brahmaputra plain which is there in the Assam valley or in the northeastern region. Okay, so that is there alluvial fens and marshes and the terai conditions which are there. So this is about your plains. Now in the next session we will be talking about other part, or you can say basically we will be talking about the you can say peninsular region and the plateau. So this is about your geography through maps. Now coming to the explanation of the practice question which was given to you in the previous session, that is which of the following is not true about the L1 visas. It allows transfer of the employees within the same company. Okay, so let's say there is the company which is there in India, company A. Now company A is having a branch in USA as well. Okay, so a employee, that is Mr. X, which has been transferred from India to USA, that is through the L1 visa that can be done. So this is true. Coming to the next one, it is restricted to the US based companies only. No, this is not true. Multinational company can be there. Okay, a company which is based in India having a branch in USA, that can also do the same thing. Okay, so that is not true. So you can say that option B can be your right answer. It has no specific education requirement because employee is already there. So that is on the basis of their experience or the requirement of the company they will be sending. It includes 2 categories, L1A and L1B. One is your normal employees, second is your you can say managerial and the executive positions. Okay, so that is about your L1 visa. Other than that, you can go and read about the H1B visa. In the previous session we have talked about that as well. Now coming to the last part, that is practice question for your prelims. You have to attempt this question. Which country is the largest coffee producer in the world? India, Vietnam, Brazil and Colombia. So you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you, and once again, have a very happy new year.